Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Halloween, everyone. By the time you watch this, it will most certainly not be Halloween anymore, but technically it still is now. So I hope that you enjoyed the day if you celebrated or, did anything fun. You, your children, or for children, or with children. I hope that you enjoyed the festivities. If you like to see myself and my son's holiday vibes or Halloween vibes, check the community tab. I posted a few pictures of us. My son was a killer clown by the name of Art, the Terrifier, of which I knew nothing about until he wanted to be him. I still don't really know much about him, but I know that he is terrifying. And so is my son in many ways. But he was a killer clown, aka also a clown killer. So definitely err on the side of caution for all those clowns out there. And I myself was just kind of channeling my shadow, giving witch bitch vibes and loving every minute of it. Definitely, felt good to delve in my darkness today, for festivity's sake, of course. But yeah, we had a good time. We went trick-or-treating, so I had to pretty much monitor him from not putting himself in a sugar coma. And now that thrill has kind of died down for today, at least anyway, I wanted to just get to the table to just pull a few cards. I'm obviously not going to do the new moon message, but the new moon is tomorrow. And I still don't know what's going to come up tomorrow as far as that is concerned. So just stay tuned. We'll see. I'm in the flow right now. I'm not particularly, stressed about anything, or being obligated to any one thing or the next as far as this space is concerned. I'm just going with the flow and really trying to integrate my real life, fun into my real life as much as possible, especially during this season, to keep my vibrations high so that when I do get here to this table, I'm giving you the best that I got. No Anita Baker. Okay? So anyway, I'm going to try to keep it cute and simple today. Wow, Two of Swords. Somebody's an indecision, or this is actually what I've been speaking about throughout this week, indifference. To me, it may not read that way to others, but it really is like a crossroads type of card, or an apprehension for making a decision, or feeling like you don't have enough information, or just being, feeling up in the air about about a partnership? Is that the indecision, or who to choose or what to choose? Or there is some choice, definitely some choice and consideration here. I feel like the universe is, the divine is picking up the slack where others may lack. So if there is a point of contention or deep deliberation such as this, it may be the divine kind of making a decision for you in one way, shape, or form. Because if it looks like this with the Lover's card, or feels like that, it shouldn't be that hard, right? Yeah, we got the Empress here. Or someone choosing between, or it may be feeling like they have to choose between, I was going to say independence or between a position almost feeling like you have to, like you can't have it all, like somehow love and success can't mutually coexist. Or what else what else could this be? This is definitely something action oriented though, with the Queen of Wands. But the Queen of Wands, in essence, is used to being very independent and, it's fire energy, so being very liberated and untangled, and like just kind of being limber to move about as they see fit, generally, unless the partnership is going to be one. Okay, so it's a matter of submission here. So somebody is thoughtful about how they're, perhaps, let's say in this case, alpha feminine qualities would really fare in a partnership such as the Lovers, that is very divine and balanced and harmonious and expected to be peaceful but also productive. So maybe somebody has a lot of, power and influence perhaps in their own right, and a success and achievements, and there's either a thoughtfulness about how that fits into a partnership dynamic harmoniously, or if there is such a partnership in which it can flourish, or in which someone can flourish and still maintain their identity, and or if, what was that third one I heard it? If it fits, if there is a such thing, or is there like a sacrifice called to order, or will someone have to sacrifice some aspect of themselves in order to have this experience, which of course is lovely and beautiful and all of those great things. But if somebody's used to being independent in a very strong way, and they may or may not have a point of reference for what an equal and balanced and harmonious partnership really does look like, particularly on this level of strength. Because it's one thing to be in a codependent partnership where, you either deplete yourself or kind of retract your power for the sake of harmony, or for the sake of to keep the peace, you know what I mean? Shoot, for the sake of having a partnership at all. And someone definitely is not here for that. It's like they couldn't even dim their light or diminish their power at this point if they try, because it's just so much a part of someone that there's really no pullback. So it really is a matter of, considering, is this Lovers dynamic something fantastical, maybe even a dream or an ideal, or is it something that actually is achievable while maintaining this energy? Wow, here's the Magician card. First of all, we got, Gemini, fire sign energy, Libra, and Virgo on the board. Venus. Did I say Venus or Libra? I guess I was saying signs, so I guess, which is why I usually don't, but for some reason I felt the need to say that. Because you got a little bit of fixed energy in there, but you also have some cardinal energy, you know. So again, it's just like really considering what type of love they could have, or even if this is like a creative partnership or a business partnership where they can still feel appreciated and valued in the position, in the power, with the power that they hold, or their power can be valued. I mean, damn, the Empress with the Magician, that either is an inflection of a particular type of partnership that someone, you know, that might be ideal in a dynamic such as this, like somebody that's just, you know, but it could even be the contemplation of the dualities of this card as I see them at times, between manipulation and magic, you know, like which are you encountering even in your considerations of partnerships? Those that just want to manipulate and monopolize your energy, or those that actually want to work with you and enhance what you already bring to the table, add to it, expound it, you know, magnify it, multiply it even, you know. That's the ideal, but also not with the intention to overshadow or overplay the contribution that the Empress and or the Queen of Wands can bring or does bring to the table. The Magician in its purest form is like rare, you know, and this, here it is with this Page of Wands. It's about whatever it is, whatever the chance that is taken or the journey that's embarked upon is something new. It's fresh. It's nothing that can be there's really no point of reference for it because of the evolution of someone's identity, you know. Like, this is someone that has grown, evolved. Like, you don't just become the Empress overnight. You don't even just become a high vibrational Queen of Wands overnight, you know. So so now incorporating or integrating this new identity into a partnership dynamic or a relational dynamic is something that's so fresh that it almost makes someone that is quite skilled, quite established and experienced feel like a novice. Because although you may be well put together in your own right as a feminine force, how does that really play out when it's time to work with someone that may be just as powerful as you are, you know, and also recognizes and respects your power and your value? How do you allow yourself to be in that dynamic without diminishing yourself, but also without controlling or commanding control over the partnership in an imbalanced way? Because you could also, the Empress could be the culprit for that as well, especially with the Queen of Wands on the board, to be overly aggressive, maybe even veer into their masculine energy in an imbalanced way that wouldn't really allow space for someone, for a partner to thrive, you know, where someone may not even feel they have a place to exist or to add value. And that wouldn't be great either. You know, that would ultimately be adding to the apprehension and the resistance that the Empress might have about partnering up, but on their own account. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of created that dynamic that ultimately would more or less kind of like prove their worst fears, or, you know, the worst case scenarios that they had contemplated on. So here's why perhaps someone is at the Two of Swords, where they're indifferent, I would say, in this case. Like, maybe there's an indifference here. I would say, I mean, there is an indifference, but there also is, because consider this, the Empress and the Queen of Wands are both highly creative feminine forces. So it could be, as I just said, actually, that the indifference is what is creating the possibilities to even consider. You know, like, that might actually be the blockage that keeps away those dynamic candidates, so to speak, you know what I mean, that would be ideal to consider. But because someone is kind of in this place of, oh, I don't know if that is something that really is realistic, or, you know, I'm not sure if I even believe that that's possible, let alone if I, you know, desire to even, you know, take the chance or the risk to see, and risk so much of my independence and so much of what I work for. Like, knowing that it is possible, you know, with the Lovers card, the Queen of Wands in this case is actually looking toward the Lovers, but just consider it about how much of a stretch, or even how much someone may need to stretch in order to fit the ideal, or if they even do at all. And I feel like it's that, you know, kind of back and forth that may be keeping the realization of this best case scenario, the Lovers card, which would pretty much be somebody's ideal match, at bay, you know, in a strange way. It's creating more of the uncertainties to be realized than the so-called impossibilities, you know, which in this case would be the best case scenario. Yeah, with the Magician card, yeah, the Empress is creating her reality. So if you're out there, you know, and you're in a place where this could even be a consideration about taking a partnership to the next level as well. Maybe thoughtful about commitment, whether it be to actually make something official with someone, or to get engaged, to get married, to move in, to have children. The Empress is a mom. To start a business together. It's like something solidifying here that would be a new journey for sure. It's something that you've never done before. I mean, I personally have never actually lived with someone else, like officially, where we're both on the lease or the house and mail comes, you know, in both of our names. I've lived with people, but I've always had, you know, the more or less another place, even if it was my parents' home, that was pretty much primary residence. You know, I've never actually lived with someone to the point where this is my home, this is your home, this is our home, and we're not going anywhere. You know, like, I've never felt that layer of that commitment level in a space that I cohabitate in, or with someone that I'm cohabitating with. So that's just one example that I can personally speak to. obviously, well, not obviously, but I've never been married, so that would also be a first. um there are different things that you could be looking forward to the experience of, but just maybe don't know what to expect. So I guess the best advice, the best offering I have, even unto myself, is to have the best expectations, because whatever it is that you are projecting is ultimately what you are creating. You literally do have creative power here to first visualize the most ideal scenario and situation. And of course, it may not be that identically to the T, or maybe it will. Who knows, But either way, it's going to be a new experience. Even if you could literally take a crayon and paper and draw out your entire life as you desire it to be, and then bam, it materializes, you will still be in the same frequency to have to actually experience it, explore it, and discover what you've created. So I feel like it's a better use of energy, particularly manifestation energy. Yeah, look, the Seven of Cups just peeked out. Because you don't know what the future holds, but if you have the pen, in this case the wand, the magic wand, or just the clear mind, it'd be a greater use of time and energy to visualize the most ideal scenario without allowing the worst case scenario to kind of like fill in the blanks, in the cases where there's just no way to absolutely know exactly how it's going to be. You still have the creativity to idealize the best, or how you want to feel, how sensationalized you wish to be within that ideal, how driven, with passion, or what your passion is even for, being clear about that within yourself, because some of the uncertainty and indecision may actually be on account of not being 100% sure about what you really even want out of a relationship or some type of connection, or you may not have allowed yourself the privilege to consider that, for some of us, because you've spent so much time actually healing and overcoming and evolving from the things that you realize you don't want, and you certainly don't want to recreate, that you may not have really given yourself the time and space and opportunity to pick up that wand and start creating again, to really think about not the what ifs or what if nots, but just what it could get to be by your command. Yeah. So anyway, let's see what else we got. Let's try to keep this short, but already I'm running my mouth. Whoa. There's two cards that flipped out. And we got this and this. That there could be some, but I really feel like this is like projections onto your ideal wish fulfillment, to almost distract you, back to that Seven of Cups, to almost distract you from feeling like you even have the liberty to consider the best case scenario, or what your ideal vision may be, or to even just be satisfied with where you are and what you have. That part too, without, let me definitely not leave that out, that maybe the indifference is that you're not necessarily pressed for a partnership one way or the other, and you actually value your independence in such a way, your solitude perhaps even in such a way that, you know, if something comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's a great place to be, honestly. That's like the feminine counterpart of the Nine of Cups, which would be the Nine of Pentacles. Focused on your own advancement, your stability, your personal security, building yourself up from the inside out, securing your livelihood, and, you know, establishing a legacy of creativity for yourself, something that is yours, that you feel proud of. This is the spiritual and emotional energy that aligns with that, you know, for sure. But this Five of Swords is almost like projective energy that would want to rain on your parade, pretty much, either to make you feel whatever it is you're feeling and sensing in this moment, to pretty much impose the opposite. So if you're feeling content, then there are those energies that want to make you feel like, well, you should want a man, you should want a woman. Your biological clock is ticking. You don't have much time. It ain't but so many good ones out here. You better take the best one that comes a knocking. You know, your options are limited at this point, or you need somebody to take care of you. You need somebody to help you get to the next level, or, you know, just this. It feels more like self-talk that is contrary to your contentment. And also, as I started in the very beginning, even the indifference itself and consideration about what is even possible, particularly about what may not be possible in the position that you're in. So, yeah, I would say, the Seven of Cups is still there. And then the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, like, you can't go wrong investing in yourself, but also investing, again, in the highest vibration of thoughts and ideas and energy within yourself. And of course, anything that does not align with that, doesn't match up with that, like I was saying earlier, it's like the universe will make the decision for you, because if it's really that much confusion around it, it's that much uncertainty or resistance. Of course, there's always the initial check-in with self, like, am I sabotaging this? Is there a reason why I'm resisting this that is not reasonable? But beyond that, I mean, as the Empress and as the Queen of Wands, these are like impulse decision makers, and not in a unwise way. That means like in a split second, you know, in the clutch, these are the type of frequencies that can trust their decision making without second guessing. So if there's any contemplation or consideration that incites a cause for pause, that's pretty much already the message, you know, the answer right there, as far as I'm concerned, especially if we're talking about partnerships that may or may not even look like something good, but at the core of it, you know, it could be something destructive or anti-evolution, you know, or anti-ascension, I would say in this case, that's not here to help you, but to actually keep you held down in some way, shape, or form, to kind of keep you from living in your wish fulfillment and your emotional fulfillment. And you'll recognize those when you see them. It really isn't that confusing to consider, because like I said, the confusion itself is kind of like a clue, or the uncertainty and insecurity that it incites is a bit of a clue. But if they somehow make it past that, because sometimes the Five of Swords can be a little slick, then you'll recognize it just in how safe, how advanced, get out of here, damn it, of how fluid your advancement continues to be. And hopefully you don't know this before it's too late and you start to decline or diminish or depreciate yourself, before you realize. But particularly in your passion and energy, if you feel a diminishing in that regard, or even in your security and confidence to make empowered decisions or power moves, definitely any type of infraction in your natural confidence, and even in the confidence that you've curated and cultivated over some time, no. And there's one thing about it is that even with the sharpest narcissists, eventually they'll start to show their true colors. The love bombing can't last but for so long because their egos can't take it. And then you'll notice what is it called? Shoot, I always mess this up. The dissonance, like cognitive dissonance, I think it is, between what you're feeling and what you're sensing or even thinking. Like if there's some, literally, Two of Swords feeling torn into two pieces, like there's not an alignment with your mind, body, and spirit. It's like your mind is telling you one thing, your spirit feels something different, and even your body could be responding in an adverse way. Like all the signs need to be in alignment for the systems to be a go. So even if someone is really, really good at what they do, at deceiving and kind of flying under the radar, at this point in the game, you should be sharp enough to know, and you are sharp enough. Maybe that's a consideration too, of how protected you are from being taken advantage of again, or taken for granted. Are you ready, quite honestly, to be vulnerable in that way? And I mean, that's definitely a personal decision and choice to make, but I would say, if you are content with not being in partnership or being open in such a way, then you have the right to do so. But if it actually is something that you desire to have, the Lovers here with the 9 of Cups, then don't psych yourself out of it, is what I would say. By telling yourself you're not ready, or telling yourself there's nobody out there that can handle you, and like stuff like that. Stuff that we tell ourselves when we're just a little bit nervous and a little bit scared of being vulnerable. You got this. Exactly. Look at this. And look, it's the Six of Cups, which definitely speaks to the past, right? Considering the past, and what you've experienced, what you have been, is particularly emotionally vulnerable to, maybe even hurt by, or what experiences you have in your muscle memory from the last time that you were vulnerable to someone. But you have the power, right up under the Empress, to decide, even under the Two of Swords, what of that cycle is worth regenerating, if any of it, and what is to be released. And most of it you've probably healed from a great deal at this point, that it really probably isn't as much of a consideration, the vulnerability part. If anything, particularly with the Queen of Wands and the Empress, you might just, it might be more of a thought to be more open-hearted and be more soft and sensual and receptive than it actually is to be guarded, because you probably got that down, I would say so, with the Two of Swords. So you probably got your own protection on lock at this point, probably hypersensitive to red flags, which ain't a bad thing, to the point where it's like, nope, I ain't even gonna give it time. I ain't gonna give it life. First time you ghost or don't, do a no call, no show, or I don't hear from you for days and weeks and there's no, realistic excuse, or you stand me up, or, those things that are telltale signs in the very beginning, or there's you tell a little white lie about something that comes out later. It's like, nope, I ain't got time to make excuses and concessions for things that show themselves early in the game. You probably already there. So that's a testament to the healing and self-love that you've committed to, and also the personal alignment that you've made right up under the Empress and the Magician to manifesting destiny. So if you've already decreed and declared your life to look a certain way, or to, not to say it always crystallizes the way we idealize it, but you've already aligned with what the divine has in mind for you. And in that case, it does even it's a co-creative experience. So while you're also picking up that brush or that pencil or pen or whatever, and you're creating as well in your own mind and energetic field, you're also limber to allow the universe to lead, guide you, and even surprise you, and that's full trust there, and transparency and vulnerability, intimacy, even an openness with intimacy unto the divine and unto whomever it sends along that path. And in some cases, maybe it is a past experience or a past life experience that shows itself to be more well aligned with who you have evolved to be, and in that case, 2 thumbs up for sure. But if it's something old, played out, tied, run down, that's just kind of, shined itself up to look fresh and new just for you, you'll be alerted to what to do in that regard as well. Otherwise, it's okay. There may still actually be a need for some more time for personal development and self-love and care, because if you don't feel equipped to make those split decisions or, instantaneous choices or choices in the clutch, then, it's nothing wrong with solitude until you feel safe and comfortable to do so. You have that right. And actually, it will probably be encouraged until you feel like you can trust yourself, because back to that, what I was saying, if not, that's the energy that you are creating magnetically in your force field, more untrustworthy people. All right, so let's see. Speaking of which, 7 of Swords. Okay. Speaking of which, but otherwise, you already see this energy coming a mile away. A mile away. Wow. So it's definitely giving light to, but this could even be heightened attacks. Psychic attacks, yeah, but if we're, really internalizing more of it within our own power, this could just be the levels, the decimals of attack raising in frequency a bit, because you are ascending in frequency. So it becomes perhaps even more and more scary and intimidating the more evolved you become, the higher you go, and the more you grow, the more healed you are, is the more concessions and considerations you make. If you're anything like me, for sure, because you wouldn't want anybody to disturb your peace that you worked so hard for. So it could just be a heightened sense of considerations, like I said, you being guarded and protective is not a weak spot. If anything, you might actually have to kind of coach yourself to let some of your guards down, not all of them, and not for everyone or anyone, or all the time, but sometimes some part of you may actually be more guarded than you necessarily need to be, because if you're doing the work, again, of projecting the most positive and promising outcome, a lot of this energy really shouldn't be able to approach your force field, let alone to actually pierce it, to be a threat. So these are kind of the tell signs of where you still may need to do some healing or self-work, self-care and reflection to cultivate that sense of trust and ease and vulnerability and security between yourself and the divine, to root out, these bad seeds and repel them before they even consider making their way to you, quite honestly. So, and then if they happen to, it could even just be a quick little test, like, just let me see where you at with it. So says the universe or the divine. Do you recognize a fraud on site? Yeah, you do. All right, you got it. Now you're ready for what you've been asking for. Like, sometimes it comes that way as well, in the form of a little quick, what do you call it? A little pop quiz. Six of Pentacles is definitely speaking to balance and not only the expectation for reciprocity, but the commitment to it as well. Wow, the Death card. This is definitely transformation. I mean, death has been all through these messages in one way, shape, or form, since Scorpio season started, honestly. And it's probably not going nowhere no time soon, because it's just the spirit of the season. But it's perhaps even changing your mindset about reciprocity, because for some, that healing transition or transformation, I guess I should say, has come on account of rewiring yourself to be willing and open to receive, not always so eager to give and overgive in many cases, or to give in such a way that you almost don't really expect there to be a balanced return. And in some ways feeling conditioned that that's just how it's supposed to be, especially women, that we're expected to pour out of ourselves, particularly emotionally, but in other ways too, of course, but the pour out of ourselves, or even to sacrifice, as I talked about in the beginning. What part of myself do I have to sacrifice in order to make this balanced? Because is it even possible for me to literally meet my emperor that is just as evolved and understanding and, self-controlled and vision, is just as much of a visionary and a creator, but also will allow me to be so too, without competition, without ego and pride getting in the way, without trying to, or monopolizing my energy and exalting himself with it. But, like all the things that women have had to kind of contend with over the years, that we've learned to just accept as a part of life and work our way around it, and also build up a resistance against, unfortunately, is not the norm, but it has felt like the norm. It's kind of been weaved into the expectation of the necessary evils of life, so to speak. So a lot of that transformation is now very much being expected to receive, and to receive abundantly. Maybe even actually someone that is not used to receiving gifts. This could literally be these, powerful feminine forces that don't even really know how to receive love in a fulfilled way, where you want for nothing. And that could be emotionally first and foremost, of course, and passionately, but also materially, where you are well taken care of. even in your own right of what you're able to establish for yourself, where there is no struggle, there is no insecurity in any way, shape, or form, where you are well established in your identity and in your independence, and also within a partnership. That is a total, extreme makeover. That might even be the title if I remember it, like an extreme makeover of your life expectations. In that case, I love it. And your Six of Pentacles, again, is definitely equal give and take, but it could also be gift giving and receiving. When's the last time you got a nice gift for no reason at all? I can't even tell you the last time I did. I'm not gonna lie. I'm in a romantic sense, in an intimate sense. It's been a while for me. I like gifts. And it not be something that you necessarily asked for or, hinted toward, or it was maybe not even your birthday, you know what I mean? But just somebody thought about you and wanted to give you something. That type of stuff might be something that you are getting ready to experience that, for a lot of us women, we kind of resist and repel reception in that way, because we always feel like there's gotta be a catch. What's the catch? Or what'd you do? Or why, you know what I mean? Like, why you get, not necessarily me, I'm not saying that that's necessarily how I feel, but sometimes it can read that way, even with the Seven of Wands here, like just plain old love, somebody giving you a compliment or telling you, how much they just really being vulnerable and sensitive about how they truly feel about you can feel foreign when you're used to kind of having to use context clues, you know what I mean? And stitch the pieces of the puzzle together and what you think they meant by what they said and what they did or what they didn't do, but you don't really know for sure. This could be somebody that, you could come across somebody and, this is very fiery with the Empress and, fire and airy with the Empress and the Queen of Wands. Not really, maybe not so inept in emotional exchanges, like it might be a love language that is new for you, that you have to get used to, and that you might have to recondition yourself to be defensive toward, somebody telling you how they feel it in a way that you don't have to decode it, and you also don't have to second guess it. Like, you can completely trust fall into love. That's amazing. I like that too. I like that too. And in this case, with it being love, we're talking about creativity here. So even if it's not a relationship or some type of intimate or, relational dynamic or romantic, that's what I'm trying to get out, romantic dynamic, it still could be even you trust falling into the security of your own creativity, trusting that there is that understanding and that covenant between you and the divine that, hey, whatever you say, it is so. So if anything, be careful what it is that you say, because we backing you up 100%, so whatever it is that you say, whatever you visualize, whatever you conceptualize, whatever you conceive, consider it delivered. And that's a new normal to get accustomed to when you're used to you living in an existence where you more or less have to fight for your manifestations or settle for second best or close enough or just enough, So it's a brave new world out here. It's a brave new world. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there, but let's see. Oh, look, strength card, and what else? Wow, the King of Swords. My goodness. I mean, pardon me, the King of Wands. So this is like more firepower, more confidence, more security. This could even be that of you expressing yourself, which again is an emphasis on allowing yourself to fall into your feminine energy. You know, don't be afraid, don't feel weak in being your feminine force predominantly, because there's a great deal of power in that energy flow that the masculine has a hard time tapping into, and is almost really rendered weak by. Go figure, with the strength card here. You know, so that's your superpower, your feminine force. You don't have to feel like you got to be hard on the outside, or again particularly guarded and resistant and masculine to feel safe in your own skin. Gone are those days. There's so much feminine protection right now, whether it's known or unknown. It is so. And if you are particularly committed to operating in that frequency, in alignment with your destiny, in alignment with whatever the divine ordinance is on your life, and of course, you always have the liberty to bounce back and forth into your masculine energy for creativity's sake, or whatever it calls for as you need to. But I'm speaking more to the feminine, as I said, in the alpha energy. That's no stranger to that anyway. That might even be a default. So don't be afraid to let your feminine force be your true power, your purest power, because that's the one that comes the most natural. The other one, you know, we've kind of been conditioned to assert and to integrate for survival purposes, and also for the purpose of advancement purposes. But naturally, there's, you know, a je ne sais quoi that the feminine force has that is unique to each individual feminine force, and is particularly mystical to our male counterparts. Even within themselves, they still most men still have to discover that duality within themselves through a feminine that, you know, exemplifies it first, i.e. the mother or a sister or auntie or grandmother, a girlfriend, hopefully someone that makes a good impression, a great impression, which there lies most of the dysfunction within our species, because there haven't been a lot of great impressions, because the balance has just been so off on both sides for so long, that the feminine's been reading more masculine because she's needed to, and the masculine has almost been feeling threatened or in competition with that overpowered force in a way, as I said before, that they don't even really know where they fit in. So they resort to, you know, acting out of pride and ego, which ultimately usually veers into more abuse or manipulation, or, you know, just mismanagement of the feminine force, because they don't really know what to do with it when we don't know what to do with it. And they certainly don't know how to cultivate that within themselves and be more loving and nurturing and so on and so forth, you know. So on and on and on. The point is here that female power is supreme. Not to say it's the only supreme, but it is supreme. And it ultimately is what is leading us, you know, leading creation overall, and humanity in particular, to ascended realizations of life experience, you know, and what can continue to take us higher and higher if we allow it to do its thing, you know, naturally, and even support it, you know, because when the feminine energy is supported, it automatically wants to nurture the masculine. It's just innate to us. We want to do that, but we need to feel safe and secure in our own skin first and foremost, so that we can add value to that dual dynamic as it was always naturally and even divinely intended to be. You know, each party operating in its divine design is how we collectively evolve and advance and ascend. So that was a good message. I ain't gonna lie, I was expecting something a little more spooky-ooky for Halloween, but I'm kind of glad it wasn't. Very upbeat and promising, I would say. So I'm gonna leave it there. I don't know how short it was, probably not very, but no matter. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.